Ross, thanks for taking time out to visit with us. Obviously, big news involving Coach Day. And I've often said this is the greatest run in the history of college football on the way to a national championship. Those four games never ever been done before. Just talk about what went into this decision.
Well, I think in today's world, stability of coaching, stability of leadership is so critical. Obviously, college athletics is going through a transformational process. And, when you have the right leadership, when you have consistency, when you have the right person at the helm, you want to secure that. You want to secure the future. And given what we just went through, like you said, a historical run in the history of college football, given the way Coach Day runs the program on a day-to-day basis, people may just only see game day, but this is a 365, 24/7 job that he leads, and he just does it the right way. So we wanted to not only reward success, but also just make sure that we're stable for a long time because he runs the program the right way. So it was important that we got this done in this time frame. We've been talking about it as the season, was coming to an end. We knew that we were going to address his contract in one way, shape, or form, and to have the support of the board of trustees, President Carter, and have that alignment on Coach Day being the right guy. All this made sense, and we're just so appreciative of his leadership.
You're a guy that played the game. You have a great appreciation for those that coach the game, and you're an observant guy. You're around the players. How much did that go into the fact that his players they worship this guy?
I saw that firsthand, really from the moment I stepped foot on campus, going around spring practice last year and throughout the summer. And then when you see adversity strike, what happens? And, these guys bonded together, but it wasn't just because of adversity. This is a long-term bond that these guys have. We call it the brotherhood here at Ohio State. And so to see that, I think one of the things that's not necessarily being talked about is when we had the infamous players only meeting. Well, guess who the players wanted in the room? They wanted Ryan Day because they can trust him and because they believe in him, and they knew that whatever came out of that meeting, that Coach Day would execute on that. And so I think that's a really powerful synergy that he has with our players and just the families. And we have a family committee that's formed. We have a parents association that has leadership. So I think the bond here is really strong, and that starts with Coach Day.
Ross, you identified. I remember when you were introduced, you spoke highly of Coach Day at that point after meeting with him, and you came out in his defense after the Michigan game. You saw something in this guy, and you still see it.
Well, again, it just goes back to every day running the program. Again, we get judged a lot by the scoreboard, right? But it's really about what leads to game day, what leads in the process in recruiting, the culture, the chemistry. And look, no one wants to lose that game. We totally understand it. We get the magnitude of that game. But given the landscape, my deal was, look, we're alive. We have the right coach. We need stability. We need to believe in our players. We're breathing. We're alive. Let's go play. Let's go see what happens in the playoffs. Let's turn everything loose, which we did. And I think the perseverance side really stood out to me, that you kind of know who you are when you're tested. It's easy when it's going well. And I think, again, that just shows that we have the right guy, and that's why we wanted to, make this contract extension a reality.
How about the brotherhood? We talked a little bit about that, and you're part of that brotherhood. I mean, just the relationship you and Ryan have.
It's been really neat just to get to know him. I didn't know Coach Day at all. We never crossed paths in all of our interactions in our travels in college athletics. We knew a lot of the common people, but we had never met before. And so to meet him about a year ago at this time, and then start to work with him and really see how he operates and understand his culture, understand his values, understand that he's a family man. We both have sons who play football. Football's part of our family in the Bjork household. I know it's part of the Day family. Obviously, he's got the girls that play other sports too. But being a dad of a football player, I think that's a really common. When we start a meeting, a lot of times, like, all right, how did RJ do last week? Hey, how'd Paxton do? How's Peyton doing in college? So it's really fun, and those are interactions that I think mean a lot. And then you talk about, okay, how do we continue to build the program? How do we continue to to solve challenges that may come our way. And now it's capitalizing on the moment of winning a national championship. So it's been really fun to get to know Coach and his family, and then just work together as we chart this course here for Ohio State football.
You run the largest program in the country, athletics wise. And, I've often said Ryan Day's a great coach. He's a great person. He's a great family man. As big as your program is, how much comfort, how easy do you sleep at night knowing this man's in charge of your football program?
That's exactly right. Again, stability and consistency of leadership, I think, speaks to how he leads these young men. And he's really a builder of the young men. If you think about what our players do in the faith community, if you think about their academic history and success that we've had the highest GPA last fall of any fall football team here at Ohio State, and then the spring was the highest GPA on record for a spring semester. So you think about academics. We haven't had many off the field issues. There's always a few things that dust up, but if you think about just the discipline, the accountability, the structure, the culture, the chemistry, the academic success. Again, it starts with leadership, and it starts with standards. Excellence is not just a destination here. It's really an expectation that comes from President Carter, and that instills into the football program. And if we didn't have a leader that's doing it the right way, I've seen it go the other way, and I know what that looks like. And to see it look like this is really, really exciting for long-term stability and success of the program.
We haven't heard from Coach, but what's his reaction to all this? And I'm hoping I can get a loan, maybe.
No, I think he's just excited about continuing here to be a Buckeye for a long time. And again, his family, loves it here. They have great support in many ways. We know that there's challenges that come with certain things, but they just love being Buckeyes here, and I know he's all in. And really, again, when you just have clarity of purpose and you have clarity on the business side that we solidified today, it allows him to keep working. Obviously, we got staff movement, and so he's putting all those pieces together. Recruiting never stops. The NIL world never stops. So, we're constantly building. There hasn't been, we landed back here on Tuesday after the championship game, and it was right to work. It's not a week vacation here, or let's take a few moments. It is right to work, and that's what Coach has been doing, and just a lot of excitement within the building.
Yeah, you mentioned it last thing. He's got to fill some positions. As a matter of fact, 3 assistant coaches. There's been a lot of stuff on the internet. We've avoided it until we hear from you and Ryan.
That's right.
Where are we on any of that?
Yeah, look, it's these are dynamic times, right? You want to make sure you get it right. You want stability again within the program, within the roster, making sure we have the right coaches that fit the culture and the chemistry. So things are still fluid. As we sit here today on a Thursday afternoon, there's not any formal announcements that are pending. Today, we're getting through some formalities and processes, but this is Ohio State. We have high standards. We're going to hire the right people. Coach is going to pick the right people to lead us into the future. So things are still in the works, still in motion.
So as we sit here now, Brian Hartline has not been named right now, correct?
Nothing official. That's right, Dom.
All right, Ross. Thank you. So, last thing, anything you want to say to Buckeye Nation? We're out there.
No, we just appreciate all the support, appreciate all the really consistency of how Buckeyes support our players and our team. And we have lots of ideas on engagement, lots of things that are in the works. I really think that if anybody can lead in this modern era, it's Ohio State, and our fans are the best. We have the biggest fan base. We sell the most product, and all these metrics that are measured. And I think there's more to come, because I think there's many ways that Buckeyes can support. So we just appreciate everybody leaning in to their Buckeye pride day in and day out.